Afternoon, everybody, and welcome. It is Mongolian beef over cauliflower rice today. I'm telling you a little bit about that. So first of all, I've got my Mongolian beef in the freezer. Yep, we put it in the freezer for just a little while, about 30 minutes or so, and that makes all of the juices kind of form up and makes it easy to cut. Now, I've already gone and done some of these already, so you didn't have to see me do the whole thing because, see, man, that is already stacked up right there. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting these into about 1 inch or 3/4 inch cubes, something like that. So I'm going to be doing this in an Instapot. So before I get that going, let me come over here and show you this. This is my brand new Instapot by Duo. I just got it yesterday. I just tried it out a little bit. And so we're going to go to the saute setting down here, and we're going to start letting that pan get warm. As I mentioned, you have to do this in batches or it will wind up steaming instead of actually browning. So I went ahead and did a bunch to start with just so I wouldn't have to sit there and do batch after batch after batch. All right, so we're going to put these into cubes and get this ready to go while our saute pan in there is heating up a little bit.
Cherie is watching.
Hey, Cherie. Let me tell you a little bit about Mongolian beef. You might think, well, that's from Mongolia. Nope, not. Here's the situation on that. You know, Genghis Khan was the first emperor of Mongolia, and that was back in the 13th century, 1200, like 1207, somewhere along in there. Well, what happened was, and I'm going to take this beef and I'm going to put it in this little dish right here, and I'm going to velvetize. Now, here's a new word for you. I'm going to velvetize this beef, which means I'm going to put a little bit of arrowroot. I'll tell you about this in a minute. You can use cornstarch, but cornstarch has carbs, whereas arrowroot doesn't. So whenever this sautés up, it's going to give it a little bit of, see how velvety and it's got a little bit of a shine to it?
Looks delicious.
That's called velvetizing, and we're doing that with cornstarch. You can do it with flour also, but again, you got the carbs and you got all that nasty stuff, so we're trying to do it as free as we can of all those things.
Vinny's watching. And
hey, Vinny.
David Cash.
So I was telling you about Mongolian beef. Well, what happened was, in Mongolia, the primary food sources, let's go to the Instapot, sweetheart. Here's a tablespoon of olive oil. So that's going in there. We're going to let that shimmer just for a minute. So in Mongolia, they ate mutton and lamb, and yes, they had beef, but they didn't have anything quite like this. But it sparked a number of Mongolian barbecue houses. That was really big, was Mongolian barbecue. So in Taiwan, they started building these Mongolian barbecue houses, and they came up with this recipe. So it's kind of neat that it has nothing to do with Mongolia, but it does have something to do with Taiwan.
Tell us about the arrowroot.
Okay, arrowroot. Let me tell you about arrowroot. Here it is. This is arrowroot, and you'll find it at any supermarket. Certainly, I got this at Quality Foods on Big A Road in Tacoma. They're our sponsor of this program. It's arrowroot. It is a starch-free, pretty much starch-free flour. It says on it as a starch flour, but it is a great natural substitute for cornstarch and for flour. I use arrowroot quite often. I'm going to be using it again in just a little while to make a slurry to go in there to thicken this. So right now we got this going on in there. We're just going to let that hang around.
Where did we get this Instapot?
It was just Amazon, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, just on Amazon. So I'm on the saute feature right now. We're going to let that get kind of brown. It may take it 3 or 4 minutes to do that. While we do that, we're going to go, or after we do that, we're going to put the lid on. I can actually put the lid on now, and it'll help with that browning a little bit. Oh, well, it tells me the lid's not on good. I'm not going to put the lid on because I don't want to have to lock it down. So we'll just let that saute, and then we'll put it on the pressure cooker in just a little while. Now, here's the reason I like this better than a pressure cooker. It has this automatic release valve here. You just hit that valve and it goes. And with a pressure cooker, if you know, it takes 15 or 20 minutes, number one, to heat up. Mm-hmm. And number two, it takes about 15 or 20 minutes to release the pressure. Mm-hmm. Even if you do it slightly, it takes a long time. This thing is so much faster. So I think I'm going to like this in place of my regular pressure cooker. So we're just letting that brown a little bit, and then we'll add the other to it a little bit later. All right, so while that's going on, And I'm going to have to refer to my instructions because this is brand new and I had to write out everything, so I'm going to have to refer to them. Turn on Instapot to saute. I've done that. Drizzle olive oil. I did that. Let it heat up. I did that. Work in batches. Well, I've already done the batches, so I'm just doing this right now. Do not overcrowd. I didn't. While steak is searing, whisk together. Okay, now let's whisk together the various things. So let me put this dish away. We're done with it. So here's the next thing we're going to be doing. We're going to be whisking together. This is beef broth, quarter cup of beef broth. Here's a third of a cup of soy sauce. Mm-hmm. This is one of the things. Now you might wonder, why is Mongolian beef so different than Szechuan beef? Remember we did Szechuan not long ago. Well, in Szechuan, you're using Szechuan peppers. In this, it doesn't have those peppers in it. So that's the difference in this and Szechuan, is this doesn't have the Szechuan peppers in it, even though it has a lot of the same things. So we're going to mince this garlic. We're going to put that in there. 4 cloves, by the way, quite a bit of garlic. And we're going to mince some ginger up and put it in there also. So the more garlic goes in. I really am enjoying this garlic press.
It is a nice one.
Yeah, it's a nice one. It's self-cleaning, and I like it a whole lot. And it's another Walmart special. You know, if it weren't, and I hate to say this because I do like to shop locally at local businesses when possible, but man, Walmart and Amazon just kind of keeps us in business, don't they?
They do.
I do notice that this is sticking quite a bit in here, and maybe you need a little more oil because it's domed in the bottom, and all my oil was around the edges. So that may be something I have to learn from. If I normally am sauteing in a saute pan, like a frying pan, I don't have that issue going on. So that's something that's
maybe
a little different.
Maybe you saute in your skillet.
Well, that's what I did with the other part, and I may do that from now on. Yeah, I just did that.
Live and learn.
Yeah. So anyway, that's not the best part. That looks to me like it's not going to stay in chunks when I do that. It's going to come up to.
Well, that's something we've learned.
That's
about
something we've learned. Yeah.
Machine.
So there's the rest of our garlic. Now I'm also going to put a knob of ginger in there. And as I've told you in the past, best way to peel ginger is just take a spoon and peel off the skin.
You gonna put that whole thing in?
Yeah, I'm going to put a lot of ginger in. Call for a tablespoon. I'm going to say this is a good tablespoon, wouldn't you?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe a little more than a tablespoon, but I like ginger. I think ginger's good for you. By the way, Debbie had a doctor's appointment today, and the doctor told her that she's progressing nicely. She felt like she ought to be further along, and he said, you've got to remember you had major surgery, so don't expect to be going out and playing football the next day. Well, she thinks she's had COVID. She's had something. She had a COVID test, and it proved negative, but that may have been after the fact, or she may have not stuck it up in her nostril far enough, or whatever. But anyway.
It's been pretty loud.
Such is life. Yeah. Hey, I need to mention something to you. We got a big push going on right now for something that's very near and dear to us, and that is coaching with Optavia. We have become coaches, and it has been so good for us because, well, I got that just too big, I think. Yep, I'm going to have to
cut it down.
Going to have to cut that down a little bit. We have become coaches, and it's changed our lives. Number one, it has held us to the accountability that was necessary for us to keep our weight off and regulate it as we needed to. So the accountability factor has been huge. Number two, it has made us a gob of money. We're getting ready to go to Cozumel. And thankfully, Optavia was a big part of paying for that trip to Cozumel coming up here in about 4 weeks.
I'm very excited about that.
We're going to
got to get well for that.
We're going to a great resort. Man, they just pamper you so much with
I need pampering.
Yeah.
Right now I do.
Oh, honey, I'm squirting ginger all over you. Oh my goodness.
I think that's enough.
Yeah, let's put a little more. If I can get it to come out of there without squirting it all over you. Anyway.
That's maybe not the
Yeah, I think I need to mince that ginger up differently. Okay, I'm gonna do this one more time here. And that's going to cook up. I've already got enough that's really browned over here.
Stay away from the steam. It'll mess the camera.
Yeah, mess the camera up. All right, so when steak is browned, cancel the saute setting. So let's find out where the off button is. Cancel. All right, now the next thing we do is pour the liquid mixture over the browned steak. I've got to put all this in there. This is what I did before, and I've got the liquid that came out of the skillet also because that's flavor.
Yes, it is.
So all that needs to go in there. So we're going to set that aside.
So you just browned it in batches.
I just browned it in batches. All right, now this mixture goes in.
But you know what would take care of that? If you did it in the skillet, you could do it all at once.
Right.
Yeah, so that would kill two birds with one stone.
Now I want to do it under pressure. I got to put my lid on. And this only takes like 7 or 8 minutes. Very quick. So let me see here how to get that lid on. Okay, the lid is on. I go to pressure cooker. They don't have a listing for what I'm doing here. So I'm going to pressure cooker and I'm going to go on high. And how do I go on high pressure? Pressure level. There, my pressure level is high. And I want to go 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I think it's doing it.
Okay.
So we shall see here in just a little while.
Did it have a start button?
Well, I hope not. I think it's, it's on. Okay,
it's
so
on.
It's on and it's working. All right,
All right.
while that is working, isn't that pretty cool?
That is cool.
So while that's working, got something going on here.
Broccoli.
Yeah, we're going to take some broccoli because the vegetables are a really big thing in Mongolian beef. We're going to have broccoli and we're going to have a little spinach in there. The spinach will just kind of cook down to almost nothing. It'll just be just kind of hanging around in there, but it will have the nutrients and the flavors and so forth. So we're going to take this broccoli and we're going to cut it up into fairly small chunks because we don't want big chunks of broccoli. So we're going to put this around.
I never like that anyway. The smaller chunks just
are
better for me.
Right. And, you know, when you buy broccoli, you actually buy a lot of that. All of this is going to be really good in this. I want to put that in there. There we go.
Ada Russell and Jimmy Robinson.
Ada, hey, I hope you're doing well. And Jimmy's always with us. So anyway, I was telling you about Debbie, and the doctor said that she just needs to realize she had some major surgery, and she needs to just chill a bit.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing. And he said, don't worry about the pain medication. You need to be on it. And so that's something that she was concerned about, obviously. You don't want to take a whole lot of pain medication, but the doc said, do it.
We told him we were going to Cozumel in a month, and he said, you're going to need this medication, so you will enjoy your vacation.
That's right. And so that's good. So he's looking out for her best interest.
Yeah.
It's funny because we're going to fly in to Cancun and then take like a 4-hour ferry ride or something. Yeah, 2.5-hour ferry ride over to Cozumel. So we've never been there. This is a brand new area for us to go to. So we're excited about it, though. They're going to pamper us. Last time we were at this same kind of resort, man, Debbie had a butler and they brought her fresh flowers every day and all kinds of stuff like that.
I can spoil very easily.
All right, so I'm going to take this spinach and I'm just going to run my knife through it. Just rough chop it just a little bit. Again, this is a great Nakira knife. It is from Pioneer Woman. It is from Walmart. Yep. But Ree Drummond, I don't know if she actually designs these things or what. I'm sure she has some say-so in it. But anyway, she has great tools. This skillet that I've got of hers, I just absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that back in the bowl for right now. And, you know, the thing about this pressure cooker, you never hear it like a regular pressure cooker jiggling.
You don't hear it at
You don't
all.
hear any jiggling going on. So I'm assuming it's working. We'll find out a little later. All right, now we're making cauliflower rice. I've already got some of my cauliflower riced, and I'm going to show you how I do this. Just in the food processor, I've got a last little bit here that I want to do for you. And I learned last week, I turn it on first, and then start putting these things in there. Look how quiet. Oh, I love this thing.
So quiet, yeah.
It is just so quiet.
Jeff Cannon is watching.
Who?
Jeff Cannon.
Oh, Jeff Cannon. Hey, man, I'm glad you're tuning in today, Jeff. Thank you so much. Tell your friends about it. We do it every Wednesday afternoon now. We changed dates for Wednesday, so it'll be every afternoon except when we're in Cozumel. Because
Gloria Cheek is watching.
Who?
Gloria
Oh,
Cheek.
Gloria. Hey, Gloria. So anyway, there is your riced cauliflower. And it's just a simple thing.
Sure is.
Yep, there it is. And I don't know that I have room in my bowl, so I'll put that in the skillet here in just a minute by itself afterwards. Okay, one more thing I need to do, and I'm going to put this aside. we're going to top this off with scallions. So while all of that is cooking over there, I don't know how many minutes that's got left. It doesn't say, so it's just doing its thing apparently. I'm going to trim these scallions down. I want you to look at these scallions. Look at these things. Man, aren't these things gorgeous?
Beautiful.
Again, Quality Foods on Big A Road in Toccoa.
Just can't go wrong with
Get
it.
all of your goodies like this. And I tell you, I'm going to do that one by itself. Let me get this out of the way. So I'm just going to cut these up. And these will garnish our Mongolian beef at the end. We're going to garnish this with scallions, also with some sesame seeds and some red pepper flakes. Now, Debbie's not going to be eating this. She's got something else. She's really having a problem with beef right now.
Yeah.
And chicken doesn't taste good to her, and she doesn't like fish, so she's eating cauliflower pizza almost every day right now. That's her go-to is cauliflower pizza.
Giuseppe's watching.
Giuseppe, man, hope you're doing well, Giuseppe. Always good to hear from you and Katie. So we got the skillet going here. Now I'm getting ready to do the cauliflower rice. What I like to do with cauliflower rice is I like to put about a quarter of a cup of water. And I thought I had that out here. Yeah. Now, here's a little bit of water. I'm going to put a little water in just to kind of steam this. And so, yeah, see, it's doing its thing.
It sure is.
Yep.
Let me get a close-up on that.
Yeah, it's doing its thing.
See the smoke? The steam coming out? It's not smoke.
The smoke coming out. Okay, so now we're going to go in with our cauliflower rice.
After a little water.
Just put a little water in there. We just want it to have something to work with. Now, that water is going to evaporate. It's going to soak up and evaporate. And that's a good thing because we want it to even brown a little. It doesn't matter if it gets a little brown. That kind of helps it also to have a little bit of that. Now, we're going to put the juice of 1 lemon in here also. That cuts that cauliflower taste just a little bit. And that it's the vinegar and the citrus that is in the lemon that really helps to cut that taste.
Okay.
So I've got a lemon here, and I've learned this too. If I start out with the lemon just a little bit and smush it down and try to get it a little loose.
That's a culinary word.
Yeah.
Darlene Etheridge is watching.
Darlene. Claude is my new client. Claude's doing so well on the program. I'm so excited. Yeah. So this lemon is almost too big for my lemon juicer.
Let's hope it doesn't break it.
Yeah. So
I always worry about that.
Well, I've broken them in the past.
Yes, I know.
And this one's supposed to be a top-notch one that won't break. So just watch me, as they say, hold my beer. All right. So I was talking a little bit about the health program that we're on. It has been so exciting for us. And the people we've met, like Giuseppe, the people we've met across the country and across the world, because we do get to travel across the world and meet a lot of people. It has just been the most... I wish I'd have found this thing when we were in our 40s or in our 30s.
I know.
Gosh, we'd be multimillionaires by now.
I know we would.
We would be. Golly,
well, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there at some point. We'll get there. Okay, so the next thing I do, let's see, what does it say do now? While the beef is cooking, cut up the broccoli and the spinach, whisk together the arrowroot and 2 tablespoons of cold water. Also do the cauliflower rice, add the juice. Okay, so here we're making a slurry. This is a slurry that will thicken.
What are you putting in the water?
This is arrowroot.
Arrowroot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm putting 2 tablespoons of arrowroot, and you can always add more if you want. Now, this is in cold water. If you put this in warm water, it won't work. Oh, I actually put this water in the fridge and kept it good and cold, and I even put an ice cube in it. And the ice cube, and it got a little bit of ginger that...
Carolyn Wilson is watching.
Carolyn.
And Daniel Marchman.
Daniel, man, I tell you what, Daniel's the one that took a ride the other week in his front-wheel drive.
Uh-oh.
So this is cooking up nicely. The cauliflower, the riced cauliflower, I don't know if you really even need to cook it or not. It's just kind of warming it is basically what you're doing. And it will brown a little bit, but it does get a little bit of cooking action going. No, that's aluminum. Yeah.
Aluminum.
And I'm going to put just a little bit of salt in this. I know we got a lot of soy in there, but we need a little salt for the cauliflower. Okay, so now at some point, the time release is up.
You still have this ingredient.
Yeah, that's got to go in next. After this is finished up.
What is this?
That is maple syrup. Yeah, we're using a lot of these Mongolian recipes call for, what did I tell you it was? It called honey.
Yeah.
And of course, honey is very high in natural sugars. So here's a great one. This is from Quality Foods. It's Maple Grove Farms. It's sugar-free. And check this out. 5 calories per serving.
Wow,
Isn't that
that's
something?
cool.
5 calories per serving.
Okay, Todd Kinman is watching, and Hunter Collins.
Hey, Todd. Oh, man. Todd, I'm so excited about the opportunity for y'all to get back in this thing and start doing well again. And Hunter, it has been so long since Hunter and I have gotten together at racetracks and things. He is doing, he's got a big change going on in his life. He's getting ready to go to college.
College?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, I knew him when he was like knee high.
Where's he going to go?
Is it Kennesaw State? Is that where it was?
No, he'll have to tell us.
Okay, now I just learned something here. Once it gets up to temperature, now it's going to start the 10 minutes.
Okay.
So the 10 minutes is now under pressure. So it got
It's been
itself.
on, what, about 5 minutes?
It's been about 5 minutes it took it to get up. And I remember my pressure cookers, it would take me sometimes 15 or 20 minutes to get them up to pressure.
That is true.
And I read in the booklet today, it said the countdown would begin once it got up to pressure. So I remember that now. See, now we're down 9 minutes to go.
Okay.
Okay, so all is well here right now. So the cauliflower is cooking up nicely. Now, next week, I've already got a recipe planned for next week, but if you've got any ideas on something that you would like me to do, just give me a holler, and I'll see if I can work it in or find a healthy substitute. You know, whenever we do holidays, like for Thanksgiving, I have found a way to make cornbread dressing without it being cornbread.
Mm-hmm.
I found a way to make giblet gravy, and it's safe for us to eat.
And the
so
cranberry sauce is
cranberry
delicious.
sauce. I
Yeah.
found a way to make cranberry sauce. I actually congeal my own cranberry sauce using sugar-free cranberry juice. And it's just unbelievable the things that you can do if you set your mind to it. So we'll find a way to try to make anything healthy we can. Chinese dishes are difficult because of the rice. Now, Debbie and I went to China, and the area we were in, they didn't have any rice.
Mm-mm.
It was a corn-based part of China. Who knew? Well, we thought we love Chinese food. We're going to go to China and just enjoy eating everything in sight. There wasn't anything we recognized.
No, not a thing.
And we went to a place one night, and what was it, pizza that they offered? And the pizza didn't have any cheese and it didn't have any tomato, but they called it pizza. It was horrible.
The only thing we recognized was KFC.
Yeah, KFC, and they had
And
fish.
McDonald's.
Of course, they did have those stores, but they didn't have things that translated necessarily to the stores that we were familiar with here. But it was an interesting time there. Debbie, of course, was very blonde back then. It was a hot summertime. Actually, it was Memorial Day weekend we were there. And people would come up on the street and they would touch her hair to see if it was going to break. They thought it was glass. We were in an area of China where not a lot of Westerners ever visit. It is a city called Shenyang. And Shenyang is like the Detroit of China. It is known for its automobile manufacturing. And matter of fact, they are a sister city to Detroit, Michigan right now. So anyway, we were there for the city of Shenyang. And, you know, you talk about cities. This city has 7 million people. Big old city, big old city. And we had an opportunity to be with the mayor, and the mayor over there is like a governor. I mean, 7 million people that you're a mayor of. But it was pretty cool to meet all those folks and to be involved in China. The reason I was in China, trying to take NASCAR over there. NASCAR had expressed interest in going to China, and the Chinese people had expressed interest in having NASCAR. So I went over there and tried to broker the deal, got it all worked out, got our track area set up, where we're going to build the racetrack, even had a builder for the racetrack. Went and sat down with NASCAR over at Talladega at their offices over there, and just put a little olive oil in there. And first walked in, and I started my presentation, and they said, just so you know, NASCAR ain't going to go to China, so you're wasting your time. So
that was it.
That was the end of that. After NASCAR had said they were going to go, they said, we spoke too early.
Gene Heron is watching.
Gene, hey, glad to have you along this afternoon to see what's going on. So now we've got this going on. We're down at 6 minutes now, almost 5 minutes to go. So what's going to happen next is we're going to release the pressure. I'll show you how we do that on this Instapot. I wish I had a video of how to do it, but I'm showing you how to do it.
It's a good demonstration.
Yeah. And I'll show you how to release the pressure. And then we're going to add our maple syrup our slurry that we've made over there.
Mm-hmm.
That is going in there, and we're going to put the lid back on it and cook it about 3 or 4 more minutes just on a regular cooking cycle.
Not with the lid on it.
Yes, with the lid on it, but not under pressure.
Gotcha.
I think that's correct. I've got to read my instructions. It says, remove the lid and add the cornstarch mixture, maple syrup, broccoli, and spinach.
Yeah.
Push the saute button again.
Okay.
And stir frequently. And it says close the lid for 4 to 6 minutes and allow it to steam a bit.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what we'll do.
So it's going to steam rather
Yeah, it's
than
going to
pressure.
steam. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
that's what it's going to do. So we're down to 5 minutes right now. Let's tell you a little bit about what's going on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's the Champ Racing Show, and it has been so great since we've changed this thing over now to a 2-hour format. For the folks that listen on radio, they get to hear some music. But if you're on Facebook Live, you get to have a co-host who sits along with me, and we talk the whole time the music's going. So it's a very much behind-the-scenes thing. And then, of course, we have to get ready and get our radio voices and do the radio thing whenever we have the interviews of the drivers on. But it has been so good. I never dreamed that we were going to have this kind of outpouring. Tammy Holden was on the other week, and we got 6,000 views. Kenny Collins was with me. We got 6,000 views. I think Woody, when Woody Canup was with me, we had like 4,500, almost 5,000 views. Last week, Al Edwards and I had over 3,000. Mike Davidson and I had about 3,000. So, and that's the most viewers we had ever had. Before, the most viewers I'd had was 1.2 thousand. So all of a sudden, this thing is just ballooned because of the co-hosts and people that are coming in.
It's a fun show.
They're the ones that are making it happen now. Here's a fun fact. I got a message last week from Facebook. I'm getting paid now. So you're liking my videos and you're loving my Facebook post and you're liking and hitting those buttons enough that Facebook is now paying me. So it wasn't much, $10.69, but it's a start.
Hey, it's a start. That's
And somebody asked me, they said, how did you get set up to do that? I have no idea. Facebook sent me a message and said, we would like to enter you in to where we can start paying you for what you do. So I just said, okay, filled out all the necessary paperwork, and that's what happened. So we shall see how that goes.
How's the cauliflower coming?
Cauliflower is done. It is ready.
Brown? Does it
It
brown
did-
it at all?
It didn't. Well, on the edges, there's some browning going on. Let me taste it and see how.
Is it cooked
It's
through?
cooked. Perfect. I love that. Just slight lemony taste.
It
That
smells
takes
good
away.
too.
Yeah. That's so good.
Okay, we got 3 minutes left.
3 minutes to go. Let me get a plate out. I'm going to use one of your floral plates. By the way, Debbie has been in a plate buying mood here as of late.
Well, I had to change seasons to a summer type plate to set the table with.
Yeah, you know these ladies and their things. She's got Easter stuff now, and she's got what you got on the table right now, honey?
I've got summertime plates with the little margarita drinks on
Summertime plates. Oh, okay.
printed on the plate.
Yeah.
I've got napkins ordered from Amazon to match.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. So now, we want to tell you about something too. We went to, with our small group at church, we went to a place called Blue Canoe up in, right at the headwaters or right near the dam at Lake Burton. And it's got a Clarksville address, but it is way, way up there. And so we all sat around the table and had a great time Sunday after church at Blue Canoe. So check them out if you get a chance. If you're not involved in church, we would love for you to come to Ebenezer. It's a church. And I'll tell you this. Whenever we left the church we were at, I told God, I said, there's 2 places I don't want to go. They're too big. I'll go anywhere that you lead me to except First Baptist and Ebenezer. Darned if we didn't wind up at Ebenezer. So don't ever bargain with God like
That's
that.
right.
But we love it. We've been there 13 years now.
I thought you told me it was 20.
No, we haven't been there 20 years. Oh, you know what? We went there in 2007. It's almost been 20 years.
Almost.
Sweetheart, it's almost been 20 years. Wow. We've been there a long time. So if you are looking for a church home, if you want some place that you can go in your jeans or your shorts or your sandals or your Sunday finest, people show up in every one of those kind of things. And it is a great place to be. And we just hope you'll come and enjoy it and enjoy the fun. We love to have everybody. And, people say a lot of times, we're down to a minute to go, sweetie.
Okay.
People say a lot of times, they say, well, when I get my life right, I'll come to church.
No.
That ain't the way it works. You come to church and slowly and surely your life gets right.
That's right.
Yeah. Remember that old song, Just As I Am?
Yeah.
What does that mean? That means just as
Just
you are.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to put a towel over this. Whenever it goes off, I'm going to release the steam and show you how you do that. Now, it's got a couple of things up here. It's got a steam vent. It's got this little jiggler thing. That's where the steam's going to come out of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got the switch. And we pull that switch, and you don't have to hold the switch down. You just pull it down and leave it.
See.
But I put a towel over because it really steams up hot and heavy. So we don't want that happening.
Fixture, yeah.
Yeah. We don't want that happening. Anyway, and it reduces the noise level. It's just wise to put a towel over it. So we'll do that once we release it.
Okay. This is a neat little pot.
Yeah, and this is the instant. It's not Instapot. This is the Instant Pot by Duo. Yeah. So I'm going to hit cancel, and I'm going to do this number. Ooh, boy, that comes through the towel hot too.
Yeah, it does.
And if there happens to be any liquid, sometimes you'll have liquid and it'll go out the top of your pressure cooker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the same thing happens here, and that towel stops the liquid from spurting
it's already
up.
on the light fixture. And
So that's how now show up here what it does. Whenever it goes off, it actually says it's finished and it's off, so you know that you're finished with it.
And you're going to go to saute next.
Yeah, and so many people are scared to death of pressure cookers.
I know, but you don't have to be.
I love pressure cookers, but I think I'm going to like this even more.
Yeah, I think you are.
Because you can use it for so many things. Look down here, sweetie. You can set it on soups and broths. You can set it on meats and stews. And it'll set it for like 20 minutes. It just automatically set for those things. Poultry, it automatically has those things set. Or you can set them individually down here if you want to up it or change it in any way. Very friendly. And also, it's a slow cooker. So it acts just like a crock pot.
So you can
set on, you can set on slow cook. It's a rice cooker for anybody that's used to doing rice. And you can set it on slow cook right here. And you can set it on slow cook low or slow cook high, just like you would a crock pot.
That's great. Okay, I think we're ready.
So let's see how close we are here to being ready to go.
Okay.
I think more of that's got to come out before I can actually open the lid. It is just about finished. Let's see if the lid will come off. Boy, that lid's warm too. Nope, it's still locked for the moment.
And that's just about done.
Yeah, I think when you don't see the steam coming up anymore, because it's still creating pressure. If steam's coming up, there's still pressure being created. Now we can do it. Yeah, there we go. All right, so check out that, man. Check that out. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, wow, that is good.
That looks so good. All right, so now we're going to go to saute. So I'm going to push the saute button. And I don't want to go for 30 minutes, but I'm just going to let it saute, whatever. All right, so
there's your slurry.
I'm going to mix this slurry up once again. And I'm going to slowly put this in while it's boiling. This reaches its maximum thickening ability when it's boiling.
Okay.
So we're going to pour that in.
Let it keep boiling.
Yeah, and just let it keep simmering here as long as it's got some bubbling.
That's going to make like a thick gravy.
This is going to make like the gravy. And we're doing it without flour and without cornstarch.
Which is good.
Yeah, now here goes the maple syrup.
I can't imagine maple syrup would go in a dish like this. But
it gives you the sweetness.
Well, that meat's just falling apart.
Isn't it, though?
So
Doesn't that look so good? All right, so now my broccoli is going in.
Broccoli.
And the spinach.
And the spinach.
Okay, so we're going to mix those in, let them get a little bit of the juices on them.
That's looking colorful.
Yeah, isn't it?
I always love the color in food.
Now of course, that spinach is gonna come down. It's going to be nothing left on it. Okay, so we're going to put this back on here.
You probably don't have to lock it, do you?
Well, I don't know, honey. I shouldn't have to lock it, no, because I'm not going under pressure.
Right.
And I want to set this for 3 minutes. Let's see if I can do that.
Just set Alexa for it. Well, you need to learn. Yeah,
I need to figure out. Okay, yeah, 29. Okay, I want to have this. I'm going to give it about 4 minutes. 4. Okay, we're going to let that go for 4 minutes.
That ought to do the broccoli good.
Yeah, and that'll just steam that broccoli up. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and plate this. Let me
get you a clean spoon.
Get a clean spoon out of here. Tell you what, I love wooden spoons, and I've gone through so many. And I've gone through these bamboo spoons, and they just, they start wearing on the edges where you use them.
We're
But
eating
these,
that, you know.
these are really nice spoons. And I don't know what brand they are. Probably re-Drummond it, but they got this little butterfly on them. Those are at Walmart, and they're made out of something other than bamboo. And these are just the finest spoons. Very impressed with
That's really
them.
funny because I don't like wooden spoons at all.
Well, I love wooden spoons.
But to me, they're just awkward.
Why do you say that, honey?
They're awkward for me to use.
So I'm going to get a little heat back in this right now, just a little bit of heat and warm it up.
My Pioneer Woman plates.
Yeah, I tell you what, I didn't realize we were such big Pioneer Woman fans.
I didn't either.
Apparently we are, sweetheart. Okay, so there's a nice little bed of cauliflower rice. So in just a minute, we'll pull this out, and I think I'm going to get this out with this big spoon right here.
That's my kind of spoon.
Yeah. Now, and in case you want to know, these I think are Wolfgang Puck spoons and utensils, and I have Wolfgang Puck mixing bowls. I really like them.
Yes, we've used those for a lot of years.
And we've used those for a lot of years. They have just been super good. So occasionally these like Emerald Lagasse's got some pretty good stuff out. I think the designers, they come up with things that they would like to use themselves.
Well, you know, something I noticed, my brother wanted to order some Ninja cookware, and I happened to notice that it's aluminum. And, you know, aluminum is just not good to cook out of, because there's a connection between aluminum and Alzheimer's disease. Right. They found in the brains of Alzheimer's patients after they died that there was a high level of aluminum in their brain tissue. So
isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and we use deodorant that is aluminum free. Just get aluminum out of your life. Right.
And the deodorant is a big thing. Those antiperspirants are pretty much aluminum. They're all aluminum. So be careful and watch what you're getting. You may have to apply your deodorant a couple of times a day because it's not the antiperspirant.
I don't have to. I find it works nicely.
Anyway, that's something to try to eliminate from your life, as much aluminum as possible. Yeah. And stainless steel. I use a lot of stainless steel. All my utensils are stainless steel. Yeah, yeah. You know, when we used to camp a lot, so much of camping stuff is aluminum just because it's lightweight. It's easy to transport. It's easy to move in and out. And so those kind of things you have to really watch whenever you're in the camping world, especially. All righty, so we're down now to a couple of minutes left. Let's see where we're at here. It still says 3 minutes. Maybe it needs to heat up like it did before.
Yes.
So let me get in here. Oh, you know what?
It's a big unit. You know, you can also get this in 6 quart.
Yeah, they have a mini, which is a 4 quart. They also have the 6 quart, and they have this. Okay, it's now hot. They have the 6 quart and the 8 quart, and ours is an 8 quart.
Right.
So it is a big one.
Which is silly for the two of us.
Well, I wanted to be able to put a chicken in it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. I don't know if I can actually fit a chicken in there or not, but it's pretty darn big.
Wouldn't that be good? Rub some spices and all on the chicken.
Yeah, you know how we used to do beer can chicken. You remember how you did beer can chicken? And you put that on the little rack and put it in the oven or on the grill or in the smoker and do beer can chicken. And so that's one of the things. We may do one of those on one of the shows, but it takes hours.
Can we have the beer though?
I don't use beer.
Oh, okay.
No, I use.
You can't call it beer can chicken.
Well, it's made for a beer can or a Coke can. We call it Coke can chicken.
Oh, okay, Coke.
So let's see how we're doing here. Let's just take this off and take a look.
All right, if you get the steam out of the way, I can look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah, the spinach is wilting down. The broccoli looks good.
Yeah.
That looks fantastic.
And it did say, and I remember now, the directions did say to stir frequently because you don't want that sauce on the bottom.
It's not sticking now.
Well, it's not really sticking. I just don't want that sauce on the bottom burning.
Yeah.
And it did say, by the way, to use a wooden spoon. I forgot that. So this will go back in the rack. We'll not use that anymore.
Okay.
So I think we're about ready to plate, don't
I think you are too.
So let me hit cancel on here because that looked pretty good. I'm running out of places to put stuff, sweetheart.
Yeah, we need more counter space.
Oh, we got tons of counter space. They're full of accessories. They're full of accessories.
Yes. Oh, don't talk about that now. Designers have to have their accessories.
Look at that Mongolian beef. Oh man, look at that gravy, and it's healthy, folks. It is healthy for you. Look at the spinach, and I think you can have like another bit of that, and that is hot and it's bubbly and it's so good. And I'll put a little bit of this little scallion on there and a few sesame seeds.
That's good.
And I'm going to put a half teaspoon of red pepper flakes. That's what we're going to have.
Pretty?
That's Mongolian beef, and it's done in the Instant Pot. Not to be confused with Insta. It's got a T on it. Instant Pot by Duo is this particular brand, but I understand that they're all very good. So enjoy. That's first time out for us, a maiden voyage for the Instant Pot, and we hope you enjoy yours. Have a great day. See you tomorrow night on the radio show for racing, okay? Bye, everybody.